So I want to tell you the story of how I discovered the infinite banking concept and how your opinion and your preconceived notion might match up with mine almost identically, right? I thought when I heard the words whole life insurance, I immediately put up a wall, was immediately triggered, and thought that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. Why the hell would anybody ever put money into a life insurance product? Because I can get a much higher return out in the marketplace or some type of real estate investment. So maybe like you, I was fortunate. I was playing professional baseball. I was in the minor leagues making absolutely no money, $600 every 2 weeks, trying to find a way to make $1. Well, I eventually discovered that I wasn't good enough. I got released. And the whole time though, I was buying these houses, right? I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, started to buy up single family houses in rinky-dink Kokomo, Indiana. And as I was, jaded from being released, right? I thought I was still a good player, but professional baseball told me I wasn't. I ended up meeting a guy in Birmingham where I had met my wife at this point. His name is Mike Schwally. And we were playing on a golf outing. And again, like I said, I was an arrogant, kind of a cocky kid because I was 27. I had like 10 or 12 houses, right? I thought I was tough stuff, whatever. And after the end of the round, Mike mentioned to me, he says, "Hey man, I think I got something for you that you might be interested in." And after the whole conversation, I discovered that he was an insurance guy. And I was like, kick rocks guy, I don't need life insurance. I'm 27, I'm go-getting, plus I've got real estate. I was making, $4,100 a month in cash flow or something like that, whatever. So I told him to kick rocks. And he said, "You know what, Nolan, look, I'm not trying to sell you anything, dude. You need to read this book, Becoming Your Own Banker, because it might actually impact the way that you invest or maybe enhance your returns on your real estate deals." And so I actually looked back at Mike and said, "You know what, give me that book, man." And what I said to him is, I'm going to read this book just to prove you wrong that I don't need this stupid ass idea. And so I took the book home and I opened it up and I read it. And then I reread it through. And then I read it a third time. I'm talking, I read this book 3 times in probably less than a week, because the information in this book was talking about whole life insurance, not structured the Dave Ramsey way, not talking about how it's just a death benefit play. But realistically, what you can do with this product, it's a product. Infinite banking is a concept or it's a financial behavior. But whole life insurance is simply a product. But there's ways that you can move the needle back and forth as ways to increase cash value and decrease death benefit. So there's ways that you can construct this thing and this idea to keep it tax-free. It grows uninterrupted compounding. It's completely litigation protected. And you can use the money inside the policy anytime that you want. So as I was starting to discover this, my mind started to turn, because I was thinking, okay, wait a minute. What if I was to use this idea or put some dry powder in this policy? And then what if I was to borrow it out and then go deploy it into real estate? What if I took my real estate investing a step further? And to come full circle, that's exactly what Mike was trying to teach me. Was like, dude, I'm not trying to compete with your real estate investments. What I'm trying to compete with is, where are you keeping your dry powder right now? What are you doing with your liquid cash that's probably earning 0.6% in a checking account, right? Or a money market, right? Whatever. And so once I started to put 2 and 2 together in discovering that infinite banking does not compete with your investment, because it's not an investment, it's a savings tool. It's a location for capital before you go and deploy it into investment. That is the needle that kind of moved it for me. It was the switch that flipped, because I was so caught up with rate of return. What am I doing out in the marketplace? Where am I taking my risks? And infinite banking totally de-risks every single deal that I do. It enhances the return because I'm able to use the insurance company's money out in the marketplace, while my capital still continues to grow and compound. Every dollar that I've ever put into my policy has been guaranteed to grow, and it's still compounding on a tax-free nature every month, every week, and every year moving forward. So anybody that's out there that is questioning whole life insurance, you and I are identical. I am the same person as you. I thought it was an absolute ripoff. High commissions, high fees. It's a rip. Don't do it because Dave Ramsey said not to do it. Whole life insurance ends up becoming the cheapest insurance that you can earn or own, because every year you have cash value that eventually will surpass how much you put in it. And then a death benefit comes along with it for free, versus term insurance. Every single year that you have it, it gets more and more expensive plus that dollar's never to earn or compound for you again. So instead of just doing what you're told or letting your preconceived notions tell you what to do or dictate your opinion, consider being open-minded. Consider reading the book Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash, because like you, it will change, or like me at least, it changed my perspective on reality. I was an arrogant, cocky, washed up baseball player that thought I had it figured out because I had like 10 houses. But now that I've switched my mindset to thinking abundantly and thinking long range, not only have I got it completely out of residential and only focus on commercial, but now I have 5 different whole life policies that my family and I use every day of the week in order to buy more commercial real estate to create financial freedom for my family and I. So I hope to see you guys on the other side. This idea has completely changed my life. Talk soon.